Today we had another episode of Monday Night Raw. That means today we had another week of WWE refusing to try and give us a good show. Another thing I want to mention, last week I made a video about Monday Night Raw and I said that it was absolutely crap. Some jabrones on the internet got really mad at that. I just want to say, man, look, I apologize, alright? I apologize. I apologize for not giving a rat's ass what you have to say. If this offends you, man, quite frankly, you're just a pussy. So deal with it. Anyway, the show starts with Gunther coming out, and you already know. You already know what he's gonna say, right? He's gonna come out, he's gonna say, "Oh, man, I ended 3 careers." No, you didn't, man. These people were already retiring. Like, it's just so stupid. This entire gimmick is so fucking stupid. Anyway, he comes out, he says AJ Styles, his retirement is a disgrace and all that. Adam Pearce comes out and he says that is enough. That is enough. He says that like a million times, and I don't know if anybody else could tell, but he was trying to think of new stuff to say while he's walking down the ramp. But he just couldn't come up with anything. So he's like, "Oh man, that is enough. That is enough." And then he mentions something that just blows my mind. He says that he knew that Gunther is gonna do this. And I'm just sitting there thinking, man, then why did he give talk time to Gunther? He gave him time to go out there and cut a promo, right? Because he's the manager. So he did that. Why? If he didn't want this to happen, why did he do this? Because, of course, Gunther's gonna do that. That's all he knows, right? So, of course, he's gonna say that. Anyway, back to Gunther. He's feuding with Dragon Lee right now. Of all people he could have potentially feuded with after ending 3 careers, he's feuding with Dragon Lee. No one gives a fuck about this feud. Next we have Cody Rhodes. He comes out, the Vision interrupts. Logan Paul has more charisma than everybody else in the Vision. It's beyond a joke. Like, maybe aside from Paul Heyman, he has more charisma than everybody else. Bronson Reed's there. Jey Uso comes out, and I think El Grande Americano. Yeah, so these 3 have a match. Elimination Chamber qualifying match. I think Bronson Reed at some point gets injured, and Jey Uso wins. Imagine if Cody Rhodes was wrestling today, man. Like, not in this match, but like, he just had a random match with somebody. He had a match with Trick Williams today. And it ended in a clean finish. Trick Williams lost, maybe, I don't know. He can take a loss from Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the main guy of the company right now. He can take a loss, right? Instead, we have Cody Rhodes in this meaningless segment. And, by the way, Cody Rhodes is a SmackDown guy. What's he doing here? Why is he here, man? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that happens. Jey Uso wins. He's gonna be in the chamber, and you already know what's gonna happen. During the match, Jey Uso is gonna be the only one standing. Everyone's gonna be down or eliminated, and then Jey Uso is gonna say, "Oh man, play my music, play my music," and the entire fucking arena is gonna dance like a bunch of retards at this nonsensical music, and everybody's gonna have a good time. I will also mention, I'm gonna skip some of the segments here, right? Because some of these segments, they were so boring. I'm not gonna waste my time reacting to them. That's just not happening. Next we have Liv Morgan. She's gonna decide who she's gonna face at WrestleMania. We have Stephanie Vaquer and Jade Cargill. They're both standing in the ring. Liv Morgan's there. Liv Morgan, she can't talk on the mic, but what she says doesn't make any sense. This idea that Liv Morgan, of all people, was handed the silver spoon is not true. She was a jobber for like 5 to 6 years when she came in. And then she eventually became somewhat of a mid-carder, and now she's like a quasi-main eventer. None of the women are really main eventers, right? Like, they are world championship contenders and all, but like, no one's actually gonna main event a show. That's when you're a main eventer, when you main event a show. None of these women can actually main event anything. That's just a fact, because, well, they haven't main evented anything in like forever, so that's how you know. Liv Morgan, she says to Stephanie Vaquer that she realizes Vaquer has had a lot of hardships in her life and Liv Morgan just had it easy. It doesn't make any sense. And then she indicates that she's going to challenge Jade Cargill. And then, well, very surprisingly, she does a blind shot on Stephanie Vaquer, implying that she's going to choose her. Then she beats the living crap out of her, and that's just that. That's the match that we're going to have, very predictably. So that's all good, man. Like, I think we already knew that, so that's what we're going to see at WrestleMania. We have Adam Pearce, and there is this mystery box which is going to open on the 28th of February. I wonder what's in there. Anyway, Rusev is standing right next to the box. He comes out and Adam Pearce says, "I'm a bit busy right now. I've got this important meeting." And Rusev, this fucking jabron jobber, has the audacity to say, "Someone more important than me." That's literally what he says. This guy who hasn't won a singles match in like fucking 3 years. This guy has the audacity to say something like this, man. The guy who got eliminated in less than 1 minute from the Rumble comes in and says, oh, someone more important than me? Like, just get the fuck out of here, man. Just have a little consistency. Obafemi, the guy who eliminated him from the Rumble, comes in, and Rusev is like, oh man, you should really humble yourself or something like that, because you're a new guy. You shouldn't really fucking talk like that to me. And Obafemi is like, oh well, then why don't you teach me a lesson? Do something about it. So they're now gonna have a feud. Rusev is obviously Obafemi's next victim. With Obafemi, man, I think he needs to turn heel. I think he's gonna have a lot more potential as a bad guy, because this gimmick is a person who can beat the living crap out of anybody, right? I think that's what he needs to be. He needs to go beat the living crap out of Gunther, which is actually gonna make people love him. But I think we can look past it eventually, right? He should retire Gunther, right? Like, he should just retire this guy. They should have a career on the line match, Obafemi and Gunther. Obafemi wins, Gunther is gone forever. And then Obafemi should start his heel monster run, beat some babyface or something. He can also like target some women, you know? That's gonna like bring in real heat on him. And then like some babyface can come in afterwards and try to save and fail, you know, like fail, because Obafemi is supposed to be like a big dude who's gonna beat everybody, right? So a bunch of people try, like Trick Williams comes in and he tries and he fails, and then eventually someone's gonna fucking succeed, but you get the idea. Then we have Brock Lesnar. He comes out with Paul Heyman. He's issuing an open challenge. Nobody answers, which I like, because it's Brock Lesnar, man. Nobody ideally should just fucking jump in, right? Like, it would not make any sense if Javon Evans comes out and he's like, oh man, I'm gonna challenge you at WrestleMania. It doesn't make any sense. Why would he do that? He's probably gonna fucking want to do something else instead, like win the Elimination Chamber, which he is in. Like, I'm talking about somebody who isn't in the chamber, let's say. It would still make sense if they're like, man, maybe some other match, like some random one-on-one match for WrestleMania, that's fine. Not with Brock Lesnar, you know what I mean? So, nobody shows up. Some rumors suggest that it's gonna be LA Knight. Speaking of LA Knight, he wasn't around today. I don't know where the fuck he was, because last week he was here, but this week not so much. Then we have a match between Kofi Kingston and Javon Evans. Who in the fucking blue hell is Offset? Who the fuck is this guy? I'm so sick of these meaningless celebrities coming in, man. Like, back in the day, we had Mike Tyson, we had Hugh Jackman, we had people like these coming in, and now we have Offset. And fucking, what's his name? I forgot his name, but like that fat guy. I'm really forgetting his name. Anyway, Kofi Kingston versus Javon Evans. Javon Evans is pretty good. I've said this before. Kofi Kingston's still around, which is impressive, and he's also great. Javon Evans wins, which I think is the right choice, because he's the young guy. He needs a victory. He gets one over Kofi Kingston, which is worth something, man. Like, Kofi Kingston is somebody who has achieved quite a lot in his career, so beating him or someone like Javon Evans, it's worth something. And I think that's also the guy he's most compared with. I think he has a higher ceiling than Kofi Kingston. So let's see what happens. Lastly, AJ Styles comes out. This is retirement speech and all. After the Undertaker shows up. And he's like, oh man, it's my honor and my privilege to induct you in the Hall of Fame. And everybody pops, man. Everybody fucking pops. And of course AJ Styles has to be in the Hall of Fame at some point, you know. And why wait? But this is what I'm thinking, right? Like, I think AJ Styles deserves to be a headliner. And I think Stephanie McMahon was the headliner this year. So, I don't understand this. Like, Vince McMahon's daughter is obviously going to be a headliner. If she isn't, that's a stupid choice. AJ Styles also should be a headliner, ideally, right? So, we have two potential headliners in the same year. And I think that WWE should really be a bit more cautious about choosing the right people every year. Like, everybody's going to go in eventually, right? But just don't throw in everybody in the same year. You know what I mean? But anyway, AJ Styles is going to be in the Hall of Fame this year, which is nice. And that kind of just ends the show.